Hello my friends, hello and welcome back to the Nightmare Cabin and welcome to day number 5 of our Judas Priest series, the countdown to Invincible Shield. 19 days up until release of the band's new album. So we're going to be doing an album a day. We're going to be reviewing every Judas Priest album a day up until the release date of Invincible Shield. And yes, we're on day number 5. So yesterday we did Stained Glass and today we are doing Killing Machine. Released in 1978. And I know what you're thinking. You're going, hold on a minute, Joe. Stained Glass was released in 1978. The band couldn't release 2 albums in 1 year. Guess what? Yes, they did. Stained Glass was released in February and Killing Machine was released in September of 1978 in the UK and in Europe. But it was reissued in the US in 1979 under the title Hellbent for Leather. And it had an extra track, the Green Manalishi added in. This edition has got the Green Manalishi added in with a couple of bonus tracks as well. But yeah, I'm going to call it Killing Machine. The band call it Killing Machine. And there's the album cover there. Cool live shot on the back there. And I really like that back cover. Rob looks really cool there. Well, they all look cool, don't they? But yeah. The where are we? Right, so Stained Glass, I said, so bit by bit as the albums are going on, the band's sort of sound is sort of narrowing down. They're keeping what's worked, discarding what hasn't worked, and the sort of folky, proggy elements, or when they're doing like a piano ballad or something like that, they're still using the ballads. They're still got variety in their song styles. But they're utilising all the influences. So your proggy and acoustic elements or folky elements are now being utilised for the song rather than just doing separate songs, if that makes sense. So rather than going, right, they're going to do this on this song, this on that song, they're mixing it all up just to make one good metal song. And yeah, what is to be known as heavy metal is just being filed down by each album. So I said that Stained Glass was probably the band's most consistent album up until that point. This is just as consistent. It carries on where Stained Glass picks up where it left off, really. It's just the next step along. But this album's a bit more varied than Stained Glass, but they are keeping that style. You still got Les Binks on drums as well. This is the first time they've recorded with a drummer twice. Trying to think of any other backgrounds. I think that's pretty much it. So again, the albums are coming out thick and fast and consistent now, so there's not really that much fallback. Oh, right, yeah. So this is the final, what's the word? I'm trying to think of the word for it, but this is the final gap, really, for the development of Judas Priest, and they've become the band that we know and love now. And this is where they don the leather image. This is where they start using leather as the full, there's a leather jacket here and there on those albums, but no, this is the full biker leather and spikes look that they've known for and still use today. But yeah, the image that is Judas Priest started on the tour of this album, and yeah, it's perfect for them, really, and it's what they're known for. And yeah, should we get into the music? Right, so what we got starting with Delivering the Goods. Great song. Great. It hits the ground running. Great riff. Upbeat tempo. And then it just kicks into this awesome groove during the chorus. Delivering the Goods. It's full of attitude. Full of swagger, as I keep saying. Fantastic song. Fantastic album opener. Rock Forever is another really good fast song, catchy chorus. The I'm in love, so in love, and of heaven. But yeah, great. Hitting with a 1-2 punch, and then you got the gem in the album. This is the one I've always found was really underrated, and it seems to divide opinions. Some people love this song, some people despise it. Where they basically go pop. I thought this song was lost in the album after album, never been done live. So this song just got faded into the background. But having a look around on YouTube, the band actually performed it on Top of the Pops, and that is Evening Star. It's got this. Who did More Than a Feeling? Is it Boston? Boston did More Than a Feeling, didn't they? You know that. You know that clean verse before it goes into the big chorus. Same sort of setup here. You got a lovely not acoustic, but clean guitar. Nice singing, and then it just kicks in, boom, Evening Star, and it's just so catchy. I love it. I remember doing a night shift once, walking around the floors, listening to this album, and just putting Evening Star on repeat. Couldn't help it. It's just catchy as hell. Pop, metal, whatever. It's good. I like it. If you don't, hell, it's not your channel, is it? Yeah, I like Evening Star. Then we've got the classic Hellbent for Leather. Again, fantastic song, instantly recognisable. Great chorus, great solos. When he at the end of that chorus, when it just comes in with that shredding lead, it's a. Not only is it regular in the set, it's a regular set opener still. So yeah, classic song. You all know it. Burning Up, it's got like a 70s groove to it as well. Again, it's a bit disco-y. We've got to make love. it's yeah, the stuff that people get their knickers in a twist about, oh, this isn't metal and that's not metal. You should listen to some of the lyrics of early Judas Priest. But because they're the metal gods, they can get away with it. But yeah, it's got a good 70s sort of swagger to it. We've got to make love. What's that band? Bad Company. A similar sort of song. Yeah. Thin Lizzy? Nah, not Thin Lizzy. But right, now I'm gonna piss you all off. I've got a controversial take here. The Green Manalishi. I've never liked this song. I think I'd much rather they just wrote their own lyrics over it. I am a big fan of the Green Manalishi is a Fleetwood Mac cover. The original Fleetwood Mac with Peter Green when they were a blues band. And they could get quite heavy and quite dark in places. And Green Manalishi was one of those songs. And I love the original song. I love Fleetwood Mac's version of it. And it's fucking spooky. And I just don't like what Judas Priest have done with it. They've just turned it into this mid-paced chug of a heavy metal song. And you know, even with it works, I get it. Like I've seen Priest live, I saw Kiki's, I've seen Tim Owens live, and they all do Green Manalishi with a limited, like no matter how limited the set is, that is an absolute must-be-played song. They even did it when they did Live Aid, when they did like 2 songs, and I just don't understand why it's a mainstay in the set when it's a cover. And I think it was a good enough song on its own. Where they could have just put their own lyrics on top of it. I don't know why they needed to use it. I mean, you know, they kind of use the same riff, that. But I think they would have got away with nicking it as well, because on the original it's like bum 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 bum. You know, it's really slow, and it's dun 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 dun. You know, it's got this. I'll tell you who would have done a fantastic version of Green Manalishi. I think Down. I'd love to have heard them do like a real dark, heavy version of that. And that's what they should have done. It's a dark, heavy song. They should have done a dark, heavy version of it and metalled it up. But they just did this. I don't know. I've never liked it. I've never liked what they've done with it. And I think that music could have been used as an original song. So there you go. Yeah. Next up, we got Killing Machine, the title track. That's another good one. It's quite groovy. It's quite catchy as well. I got a contract on you. Good one. Running Wild. Again, another classic that's fairly regular. It's in, yeah. I'm trying to think. I'm going to go for. I went for all the set lists of the live albums, and yeah, it's a pretty consistent one. But yeah, that's another great song. Before the Dawn, we're back to acoustics now. Yeah, just acoustic track with acoustic guitar and Rob singing. We've not had that for an album or two now, but it's a nice song. It's not very long either. It's more of an intro, but it's really good. And then And then we close with Evil Fantasies, which is like this slow bluesy number where I don't know what's going on with Rob's. I read somewhere that someone said he went to follow with Rob. Yeah, he's fantastic when he goes high, but he's actually weak points. He's not very good going low. And then this is like, you are my evil fantasy. It's, yeah, they kind of have a point, I guess. But it's all right. It's all right. But and then on this edition, as always, you get a studio outtake and a live track. And on this you get Fight for Your Life, which is a early version of Rock Hard Run Free, which would later come on Defenders of the Faith. Is it Defenders of the Faith or Scream for Vengeance? Couple of albums away anyway. Yeah, because you've got British Steel next, then Points of Entry. I can't remember if it was on Screaming for Vengeance or Defenders of the Faith, but either way, a couple of albums have come out before they finalised it. But I love that song, and it's nice to hear an early version of it. Pretty much the same, just a different chorus. But yeah, overall, this is you're getting the hits now. We're getting more hits on the album as well. But yeah, full of great songs. Delivering the Goods is great. Hellbent for Leather was a classic, obviously, with Running Wild. And Grinning Manalishi. I know I'm a minority with that. But there's no bad song on here. They're all catchy, all good. Bit cheesy here and there, but never. Bit of cheese never does anyone any harm, does it? And yeah, again, we're moving forward. We're developing into the Priest that we know and love today. And they're narrowing down into a metal band as they would go up, as we know metal today. So as I've mentioned, this was originally released in the UK and in Europe in February of 1978. Then it was reissued in February of 1979 in the US, but then September 1979, so a year after this was released, we got the band's first live album, Unleashed in the East. Classic live album in the series, like in the sort of canon, really, of classic live albums around this time. Thin Lizzy Live and Dangerous, UFOs, Strangers in the Night, Kiss Alive 1 and 2, so on and so forth. That's an iconic album cover. Live in Japan. Great back cover as well, just as iconic. So when this was originally released, so this was recorded, shall I say, 2 nights in Japan. Let's see if I've got it. I did. Yeah, here we go. I did have it on a up on the screen, but I shut the window down and I can't be bothered to look it back up again. But it was 2 concerts in Japan, and this was recorded over those 2 nights. Now, let's get into the review first. Oh, here we go. No, just a Japanese tour, 1979. Let's get into the music first. Right, this is basically everything you need on those first 5 albums condensed into one awesome set. All the songs sound better on this. I think I prefer the studio version of Starbreaker, actually, because the guitar sounds heavier. But everything's more energetic, everything's faster, everything's tighter. These are just stunning performances of all the best songs from these 5 albums. 1, 2, 3. It's 5, isn't it? Yeah. Nothing on Rock and Roller, so it's the best songs from the 4 albums, from Sad Winds of Destiny onwards. Yeah, just put into a classic set. And yeah, you could probably get away with this period of the band. Just get that, everything you need's on there. Yeah, there might be the odd gem here and there. I've pointed out underrated songs or hidden gems, but I'm talking about essential. Like, you can get them if you're going to be a real fan of the band. But if you're a casual, up until this point, this period of the band, you just need that. And yeah, this is a classic live album, and I do love a live album. This become a bit of a lost art of late. Funnily enough, you know, this is George Corpse Grinder from Cannibal Corpse's favourite live album. Yeah. And then obviously you get the usual with these albums. You always get that. Actually, I think you'll find this is a studio recording, and it's apparently a live. Yeah, a live was actually just them live in a studio. Apparently, there's been some touch-ups. There was a rumour. Rob apparently was pictured in a recording studio not long around this time, and so the vocals were touched up. There's bootlegs of the. So obviously, there's 2 shows that they did. They recorded both shows and edited it and filed it down and got the best performances and whatnot, like they do with live albums. But bootlegs of those concerts apparently don't match up, and the crowds sound different. So it's end of the day, who cares? I don't care. Is Kiss Alive any less good? Apparently Thin Lizzy re-recorded some guitar solos for Live Dangerous. Does it make it any less good? Who cares? All live albums are doctored one way or another, and the ones that aren't sound like shit. And they're basically bootlegs. If you want a bootleg, get bootlegs are fine, but who cares, basically? And these were the original best ofs as well. I'd rather a live album than a greatest hits anyway. But what's good about these live albums, and the reason so many people released them around that time, was because a lot of the studio albums weren't really capturing the energy and the heaviness of the live show. So that's why a lot of them released them at that time. And with that, you know, I think many of people, like UFO Strangers of the Night, for example, would say like that's UFO's best album. I mean, like a lot of people say the Who live at Leeds. I know that was a bit earlier. Thin Lizzy Live and Dangerous, you know. I mean, Thin Lizzy Live and Dangerous, one of my favourite albums, end of. But yeah, fantastic live album and a classic. And yeah, so this brings us to the end of the 70s. Join me tomorrow when we go into the 80s, and we're going to talk about British Steel. So I hope you're enjoying this. Thanks for watching. Give us one of them. If this is your first video, go back to the beginning. Do it yourself. Go get your Judas Priest albums out and listen along with me. You know, use this as an introduction or an afterthought. Or if you're new to Priest, hopefully this will be a nice little guide so you can start getting into them. And maybe if you're a casual listener, you never really checked out the albums. You know, do whatever you like, basically. But I hope you're enjoying this. And I hope you're listening every day. Yeah, so what do you think of Killing Machine? Or do you call it Hellbent for Leather? What's your favourite track? What's underrated? What's your least favourite? What am I wrong about? And yeah, what do you think of Unleashed in the East? I want to know. Drop us a comment and join in the conversation. And yeah, I'm enjoying this. I hope you are. Like I say, we're going to be doing a different Judas Priest album. We're going to make our way through the whole catalogue, one album a day, up until the day Invincible Shield is released. And I'll see you tomorrow for British Steel. Take care, folks. I want to say something Judas Priesty, but I can't think of anything. Rock hard, ride free, something like that. All day, all night.